First we load our terrain. And then we load an agent. And then we can bring up our place tool from edit place. And we've got several types of generators that we can use to specify where the agent goes. We've got a point generator, a circle generator, a polygon generator, a spline generator, and a color generator. These generators put locators in the scene, and we can see how that works now. We go add and then click on the terrain, and if we look closely we'll see that we have a little triangle where we put that generator, which is the locator. We can have more than one locator for the generator, and we'll see those if we set a distance for them. And where each one of those locators turns up, that's where eventually we'll have an agent. And we can control the angle that our locators are on and give the angle variation. We can also put them in rows and columns. And we set a distance for the columns, rows and columns. And then the angle also changes the angle of the rows and columns. And let's check out the circle generator. Click on the circle button, click on add, and then we drag from the center of the circle out to the edge. It's the number of locators we want for our circle, the angle, let's go Alt S just to switch off shading so we can see the locators more clearly. Now if we want to move this circle around, we can shift drag, and you'll notice the locators bumping into each other there. That's got nothing to do with the action of the agents, that's just giving us a good starting position for them so they're not on top of each other, and that's due to the distance that we've set here. So we can drag the whole generator around, or we can drag, in this case, the edge of the generator. This button here selects between dragging a whole generator and part of a generator. So now if we shift drag, we can just drag the radius of the circle. And if we hit the place button, we now have our agents in the scene, and away they go. But we might want more than one kind of agent, so let's load another agent. We can go Control D to get rid of all our instances, D for delete. That's also under delete instances. Get our place tool back, and now we can make sure we've got our circle generator selected. We can select the ball agent instead of the plot agent, and we'll see that when we place we've got all the ball agent turning up in the circle. We can actually mix the two. We can have both groups selected. These are called groups because they contain all of the instances of that agent in the scene, and the group slider adjusts the ratios of those instances or those different types of groups for this particular generator. In that way we can have different proportions of the various agents at any one generator, and there can be as many groups as you like per generator. Let's try out the polygon generator. We just put points down on the terrain. We can middle click to remove one, and when we're finished we right click to end. We set a number, and we can angle and the group ratios, or we can switch off one group altogether if we want to. And now if we were to drag, you'd be dragging the whole generator around the terrain, or by clicking on this button again, we can drag individual points around the terrain. Now we come to the spline generator. Again, it's just clicking to put points around the terrain, and middle click to undo the last one, right click to finish generating the generator. And again, if we shift drag, we're shifting the whole generator around the terrain. If we have this button selected, we can shift drag individual points. But let's get some agents along the spline here. If we just set a number, they'll all turn up along the spline itself, and we can have them aligned to the spline, sideways to the spline, or go in the opposite direction. If we use rows and columns, we can actually get rows and columns along the spline. And we set the column distance to control how far apart they are. And again, we can see that our agents are able to be placed without being on top of each other. Okay, we can also place agents on colours. Let's get the paint tool, switch on shading again, and set a size for the brush, a colour, and paint on the terrain. Another colour. And close that. Now we'll go back to our place tool. Let's delete some of those generators. Shift click to select and then delete. Now we select the color generator and we go add and then click on the color that we want the agents to turn up on. If we wanted to control the density of the agents in a particular area, we could paint with a stippled brush. That would give us more control over the density. And we'll add another color generator. This time we want the other type of agent. And we'll have them facing the other direction with a bit of variation. Now when we go place, we've got all those different types of agents. And when we're ready to save our placement, we just go save setup, and we can save the placement in the setup file, which we usually call a mass file.